Hey there. I am so excited to be with you today on the solstice. We are here and we are going to be talking about so many things, so many exciting things. We're going to be opening up your full potential. We're going to be aligning your energies with that of 2024. We are going to be powering you up. We have so much to do today, and I'm super excited about it because the energies are amazing today. There's like a pocket that is open that is so exciting and is so unbelievably powerful that you're going to be really glad that you said yes to yourself, even though it's busy right now, even though there's lots going on, even though that it's the holidays, right? So it's like the end of the week, it's the end of the day if you're on the East Coast or if you're in the UK, right? Or it's the very beginning of Friday if you're in the Australia. And yet you've said, okay, you know what? It's important. I'm going to be here. You're going to be super, super glad that you did because we are going to be talking about things that are going to be helping your mind, that are going to be opening your heart, that are going to be activating your will, because it is that alignment that is critical for you to be able to take an intention, a dream, a wish, a desire, and to add energy and fuel and to open yourself up to it, and then to make it real in your life. Not just, gee, I had a dream, I did some affirmations, I'm doing some things. Those are really good and they are really helpful, but they're not helping you pay the bills. They're not actually shifting your life, right? So that's what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to have things that will impact you for real, for real, for real, for real, right? So I'm going to be, doing things that are amplifying, that are activating, that are aligning. Didn't mean to use the A's, but apparently they just came. That's fine. Because here's the thing. You are probably doing all the right things, but you're still struggling. You're setting your intentions, but the money isn't here yet. You can't quite figure out why you're not getting ahead. That's not helpful, right? You are making the steps and you're doing the things and you're investing in yourself, and yet show me the money, right? Freaking 2023 was supposed to be show me the money. Yet the second half of that sentence is when you were at the razor's edge alignment. And so if you're at the razor's edge alignment, I have some clients that have gone gangbusters, like busters, bonanzas. But yet I have others that are like, hey, what about the show me the money? Ooh, we are doing so many things to put the right things in place, and they are poised beautifully. They are going to be entering 2024 and they're going to go, so this is what we want to be able to do for you, because whether it's a 1 hour live event or it's a 2 hour workshop, or if it's a 6 month program, or if it's a 12 month one-on-one container, I have the same approach. I am always using my success making methodology. I am always following the mind, the heart, the will. If you've been following me for a while, you know, and you've heard the next two things I'm going to say a million times. Do you know, like, and trust yourself? Because that is going to help you make sound decisions. It's going to help you connect with the right people, and it's going to help you make money. And then on the external side of that, it's you aligning with your power, you stepping in to your purpose, and you really opening up to your prosperity. So there's the yin and the yang of that. And we're going to talk about that in a few moments, because 2024 is really all about that. So you may be able to relate to this story I'm going to tell you. This is about Melissa. She was a client that came to me right at the top of 2021. She was hitting an upper limit. She didn't quite know why. She had success. She was like mid six figures. She had a small team. She was doing the right things, and she was saying like, I just keep hitting and I don't know why. And so following this methodology, this is exactly what we did. We went ahead and we gave her mind candy. That's what I'm going to do for you to do today too, is I really talked to her about her soul destiny and her strengths and her gifts. And then I opened her to her full potential. And what we realized is she was giving her power away all over the place. And I'll be honest with you, that's a trend I see a lot. That's pretty typical. Um, And so how was she doing that? She was acting like a student when she was going to networking events. She was like not really getting what she wanted when she was collaborating with others. She really wasn't delegating to her small support staff. She wasn't like allowing other people to help her. She wasn't receiving and accepting support. She wasn't really even asking for it, as a matter of fact. So she was working too hard. She was resenting what she was paying her staff, and it was costing her, right? She was wasting time, she was wasting money, she was doing all this effort, and it wasn't wielding the results that it should. So we did healing and ritual and exercises, and we got her to connect with others from a position of power. She was actually able to open up her full potential, see and realize her gifts, and say, you know what? I'm not going to enter as a student or someone that feels less than. I'm going to enter as an equal, or guess what? I'm actually more successful in a lot of ways. And I'm going to bring that to the table. I'm going to help myself be in the position of authority so that I can come at things as a level that makes sense, right? In the marketplace or even in family and in personal life, in all these different arenas. And so when she was able to do that, she was actually able to go from that mid six figures, and she's at around $2.2 million now. And she's gone from 3 people to 20 people. And quite frankly, she has so much more free time. She's able to travel much more, and she's in like totally enjoying life. So what did we do? We followed the methodology that I talked about. We followed that knowing, liking, trusting, and we really amped up and like clarified a lot of things for her mind and was able to create certainty there and was able to then align her heart and connect with others in the right way for her from a position of authority. We were able to have her be unwavering in the marketplace and quite frankly become much more of a player, like much more of a thought leader and an industry leader rather than a follower. So what are we doing today, right now, even right now, this little hour that we're going to spend together? We're going to do a micro version of that. So this is why you're like, yay, I'm so glad I'm here because I get to use this epic energy, and I'm going to tell you what that's all about. And then I get to be able to, know that I am giving myself permission. I am taking the time. I am taking a step to say, you know what? I am going to make 2024 different than 2023. I'm not going to finish at the same place that I start. I'm actually going to, start at a different place and then have a different trajectory. And that's amazing because you're wasting time and money when you're second guessing yourself and when you're giving away your power. You are preventing yourself from reaching your goals. And we want to give you ways to stop doing that. So what we're going to do today, we're going to be able to help you have more ease and flow. We're going to be able to help you connect to the right people, and we're going to be able to create opportunities so that you can align with your soul mission because we're going to do some mind work, some heart work, and some will work. We're going to take some action at the end of this. So I would love for you to write in the comments what you are most challenged with right now, right? Is it, gee, I feel like I've been giving my power away. Hmm. The decisions I'm in a spin cycle. Either I don't make them, or I'm just churning, or I'm asking for validation from others all over the place. Or, I am connecting to people, but they don't seem to really have my best interests at heart. I'm not getting what I'm giving. And I'm not really relying on people. I'm not asking for support. Or is it lack, struggle? We want to be able to stop that. We want to be able to hit an interrupt, at least an interrupt, right? We want this activity that we're doing today to be able to interrupt that cycle because that's going to be super, super helpful. Because you know what? You want to make more money, period. Period. You are not in business to be a volunteer. You are not in business because you want to be of service. Yes, you want to be of service, but not for free. Absolutely not. Not for less than your worth. So let's open you up. And why today? Like, why today? Why is today such a big deal? Because I have to be honest with you. You put your business hat on, and today is a terrible day to do this. It really is. Today is super close to the holidays. It's the end of a week, almost end of a month. People are already on like vacation holiday mode, right? They're doing that last minute kind of catch up. They may be traveling, like all the things. To then say, no, you know what? I'm going to come out and I'm going to do my first, like in this way that I'm doing this. I'm going to do my first really allowing people to get a micro version of my methodology in just an hour. I don't usually do that. I usually do like one little piece and I really like just emphasize that and kind of hint at the other two. I don't go full in on all three. And I'm like, here's how I'm going to do this. First time. Mercury's retrograde, so there's communication. I don't even know where I'm going live right now. I hope I'm going live in all the places that I thought. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, my whole thing with my team was like, we're going to see what happens. Maybe I'm going to talk to myself, record it, and we'll see what goes on, right? Okay, not ideal. That is not ideal. But today's energy is so unbelievably good. It's a solstice. So a solstice, think of a solstice like a full moon, right? It's not, but we're going to think of it energetically like that because we're going to think about when the sun and the moon are at their opposite. I always talk about the fact that there's so much more opportunity. There's so much more possibility for you. And so we can step into that and we can start using energies that aren't really available to you for very long. Well, the sun and the earth have that relationship on the solstice. So here in the northern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. It's actually quote unquote the lowest, right? Like the farthest point that we are from the sun. And then for the southern hemisphere, it's the closest, right? It's because we're in an axis. I mean, like let's just be perfectly clear. But it gives us much more available energy. That's the key. And so when you take a solstice and you say, okay, I'm going to do something during a solstice. I wonder what that's going to be. And so I've been doing ritual on the solstice for about, I think like a year and a half or 2 years, right? So there's been a handful, but I've never had this opportunity with these energies the way they are. They are much more amped up today than they normally are. And so why? Mars is involved. And when Mars is involved, Mars adds epic, pure, unadulterated power. I mean, he's like the power pack king. And so at the beginning of the week, I talked about that you might feel isolated, you might feel a little unsure, you might feel lacking confidence, you might be questioning like, gee, does somebody want to hear from me, should I be reaching out? Oh, forget it, I'll just pull back. Because that was definitely an opportunity for you. That was definitely a choice. Because here's the thing with Mars either sets you up as a victim or he sets you up as a hero. So it's really your choice. And the choice that you make is, am I going to be the hunter or the prey? And so and that's with him. That's not with other people. That's with him. Because what he does is he pushes you and he says, guess what? You have choice. What are you going to do with the jetpack I just handed you? And you can either like imagine, like, let's picture yourself with a jetpack, right? Like kind of like going around and spinning around and just like chaos making and just kind of in a spin cycle. Or you're like, no, I'm going to figure out how to use all this power. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with it. And I'm going to go like a rocket ship. That's what we're doing here today. That's why we're here today, even though who knows what's happening in the online space right now, right? I hope you're here. Hope you can see everything and hear me and all this stuff. Mercury's retrograde, right? Like where there was a lot of this today, like just kind of like this. Okay, it's fine because I want to show you the picture. So those of you who are used to me, you know that I'm going to show you the circle graph. You know it's going to happen, and I'm doing this because I want to give you the information as to why it's important that you're here today. Because we're talking about opening the mind, we're talking about opening the heart, we're talking about taking action, right? So I want you to be able to know why. There's a really good reason. So when I looked at this last summer, or no, it was actually summer 22. I I was like, oh, this is kind of magical. Like, 2023 is going to be 2023, but when we get to the end, I definitely want to do something that can set people up for making 2024 be a year that we're not just going to talk about it being the best year, we're actually going to make it the best year. And I have an announcement at the end that I'm going to talk about that. So you want to be like involved in this because this is something never before, price point's totally different. Like this is a brand new thing. So why? Why is today such a big deal? So we have the sun just went into Capricorn, kissing Mercury. I'll talk about that in a minute. We've got Mars. This is why. See this little triangle right here? This is the packet or pocket of opening that we want to step through. And we've got all this support right here. And actually, this is super supportive, even though it's red. Usually red is like tension. This one is tension. We've got the backbone of tension between Venus and Uranus. What does that mean? How do I fit in? Where do I belong? How do I want to be doing things? What's coming up for me? And so that's when I said this week was really great to do outreach because there's going to be some quietness out there and your outreach is going to stand out potentially, right? And when your outreach is heartfelt and personal and you're able to use that excellent energy to create new connections. And these can be personal, financial, or professional. So if you think personal, love, family, friends, ooh, that's pretty yummy. If you think professional, great. Like maybe a new collaborator, maybe a new client, maybe a new, resource for you. And then when you think financially, it's like, financially, maybe there's a new way of seeing things, analyzing things, feeling things, assessing things that you didn't see before that can create opportunity. Because Uranus is about opportunity. In Taurus, it's about money. Taurus rules Venus. This is a big deal this week. And you could take it and be like, get away from me. Or you can lean in. That's why the stars are interesting, but using them strategically is really what sets you up for success. That's my jam. So that's what I'm doing. So we're going through, and I'm just going to give you a little tiny bit more as to why it's so luscious today. I talked about Mercury kissing the sun. That means that there's great ideas and luscious conversations. And with that retrograde, you can be reuniting with old acquaintances. And there's this beautiful, gorgeous support with the moon that is just newly in Taurus. So super edgy, super sparky, super good. So new routines, revisiting old habits, shedding outdated ideas. Saturn's involved too. You can really create long-term change with this configuration. Hello, like absolutely we want to do that. So that power packet is what we want to be working with right now. And we have it here right now. Now, the solstice is actually at exact at 10:27 p.m. Eastern time, but we're in the waxing energy of it. So this is why we can build to it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time to be doing this. And so when I talk about the stars, right, I just gave you like the glimpse of this crazy picture, just talked about some planet names, but I always try to give you the reason behind it and then give you some practical tips on how to use it, business and personal, because knowing what's in the stars, I just said that is marginally interesting. Using them is really, really great. And when you actually apply them from a knowing, liking, trusting yourself, that's the bonus round. That's when you get success, because that's when you're actually, allowing your mind to get some information that it needs, but you're aligning your heart and you're opening to be able to do connection, and you're really able to step in and take actionable steps, because making it real in life is what it's all about. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go in, we're going to assess your mind. We're going to calm and we're going to create certainty around it. The mind is a beast. It needs 3 steps. So we're going to take the time to do that. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to open your heart, and then we're going to activate your will. Because what I want to do is I want to support you in your full potential. I don't want to create more of what you don't want, right? Because this is the thing. We create based on what's going on. So I did a quick video today. It was last minute. I just kind of threw it together because I was like, I really want to emphasize this. And when I'm in the middle of an hour, there's going to be so many important things that I say that this might get lost. So I wanted to kind of carve it out and give it its own highlight. And so it is like what we feed grows and what we starve dies. And what I said on the quick, I don't even think it was a minute, maybe it was a minute video, was if you're busy and scattered and struggling, then you're actually feeding that because you're busy and you're, I mean, we know that there's life, but there's a reason, and there's a permission letting that you want to have, that you get to step away from that to create that quiet time, to be able to reflect, to be able to set intention, to be able to do some ritual for some clearing, to be able to activate a manifestation of the desire that you have. Really important to do that. And so we do start with the mind. So let's just take a quick temperature, and I would love to have this in the comments. I do have team out there that can be minding the comments. So we have someone on Facebook, we have someone on YouTube. I don't know if we're going live on Insta. This is the first time we're going to try it. If I am, great. If not, no worries. But I would love to know, as I'm talking about these next few things, about what's happening with your mind right now. So this is a little mini assessment. So when we look at the knowing, like the mind and purposeful, there's a lot of times that there's mind games. So that could be that negative self-talk. It could be, I'm not good enough. Nope, I don't have enough credentialing. I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm not going to speak up right now because no one knows that that's not important for me to say that. And then, of course, someone else says it and you're like, I should have said it, right? So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is you feel like you need to be the expert. So you don't want to say you don't know something. You feel like you are like, I should be the one who's brilliant. I'm the advisor, I'm the coach, I'm the consultant, I'm the elder, I'm the adult, like whatever that is. It Reality is it's okay to not know, but your mind might be playing games with you. So let me just know if that's true for you. Like doubt, or just write doubt, or like expert, and then that would be great, because then I can go back and I can do some. I didn't know I was going to do this, but I am going to do this. I'm going to go back within those platforms, and I'm going to just go ahead and zhuzh and create some calm. And I'm going to amplify some desires here. I usually do that. I kind of forgot, so I'm gonna definitely do that. Now, in the liking area, this is where you have the heart and you have the power. So what could be going on is, I call these the heart twists, right? Like this is where you could be in that over care cycle, like really caring, and it could be caring for others literally, or it could be caring what others think. Right. So that's two. So it's like over caring for people, people pleasing, wanting to placate, wanting to make sure everything's okay for everybody else, not really taking yourself into account. You don't really enter into the equation. You want to make sure everything's copacetic for everybody else. So that's overcare. The flip side of that is overachieving. It's like, I need to prove myself. I am going to be the best. I'm going to strive. I'm going to reach my goals. I'm going to, make the next summit. I'm going to reach the next plateau, like all the things, right? To the extent that that's really your key focus and really your key energy. And what ends up happening with that, it feels like you're winning, but yet, number one, there's a cost. There's a cost of probably satisfaction and some contentment and maybe some vacation and some ease. And the other thing is, are you really winning? Because how much effort does it take? And it could actually be easier. So that could be overcare, overachieve. So I'd love to know if that's going on for you. And if there's more than one, go for it, because we are human, we're complex, things are layered. Then the other one is about trust, and it's about the will, and it's about prosperity. And so this one I like to call controlled chaos. And I call it that because it's creation of both those things. Either you want to control everything, and so you're a super perfectionist, and you're like, I'm going to make sure that everything's perfect before this can happen. So this is the criteria I have, and it's like, and you super control. Or because you're doing everything yourself, there's chaos because you start missing things, right? Like, ooh, I don't have the bandwidth for that. It's overwhelm, right? So it's either overwhelm or control. I don't have the bandwidth for that. I'm doing everything myself. I'm kind of like multiple plates spinning in the air, and it's chaotic. So I would love to know where you are, because what we want to do is we want to calm this right down. Because if you enter ritual with all that energy going on in your mind, in your heart, and in your will, what do you think you're going to create? What you feed grows. What you starve dies. So if I'm setting an intention that's great, I'm just, and then I'm off. The intention's kind of sitting out here. That's great. But if you're never kind of going back to it and feeding it and allowing it to be in your space, it could be creating, it's just not creating for you. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want to waste this time. That's terrible. So what I want to do is if the mind games are an issue, if that doubt or that expertness, I would love for you to get out of the mind saying, I should know more, I need to do better, I need more experience before, and to repeat, I know enough, I am the best, and I am the expert. Do that like 3 times a day for like a week. I know it's the holidays. What you feed grows, what you starve dies. So let's be feeding that you're enough and that you're the best and that you're the expert. That would be awesome. Now, for this next one, for the heart twist. Now, these are affirmations because I'm in the mind, I'm calming the mind down. And so they need me. I should help them. Like I'm going to overcare. I'm going to overdo. I need to prove myself. I want to be the best. Like any of that nonsense is going on. I want you to practice saying no. Nope. I'm not available. I'm not going to do that right now. That's not necessary. I already have an award. Why do I need more than one? I already got, reached my target. Why do I need to be? More is not always better. Practice saying no. That would be excellent. Those are for those heart twists, the overcare and the overachieving. Then the third one for that controlled chaos, a lot of times what you're saying to yourself is that either I have too much to do, so I'm just not going to make it. I overcommitted. I just can't quite do that. You're missing out on opportunities there. So you'd want to assess that. But we're just doing affirmations right now. So a lot of it is because I can do it by myself. I can do it easier. I can do it faster. So there's that control. And then there's the overwhelm that comes from that. So get really specific about what would be helpful for you. Get really specific just for yourself. What would be unbelievably helpful to you? And then ask for support. It could be that you need pockets of time in your calendar, or it could be that you need some help from people that are right around you that you haven't identified and you haven't asked. Or if you've asked, you've kind of asked over here and you really haven't asked and then said, okay, and this is how it can work together. So these are 3 quick tips because I want your mind to go, okay, because what I want to do now is I want to create some certainty for you. Remember I said the mind was a beast, we assessed, we created calm, and now I'm going to create some certainty for you because I'm going to talk about 2024. Yes, I'm going to give you some 2024 information because listen, if I'm going to start aligning your energies, your mind's involved in that. So your mind's going to want to know some things. So here's the deal. It's super edgy. It just is. It just is. It's just the way it is. It's super, super edgy because of the planet's positions. And it's super edgy because the stars will always give you glimmers before they set things in stone. And so a lot of times we miss the glimmers because we don't take the time, right? Or we don't know. And so follow me. Here we are. I'm going to tell you all the time, right? So we have a beautiful glimmer coming in through Mercury retrograde next year. Mercury retrograde is going to be super fiery next year. It's just his planet. This is a sign he's in. So he's retrograde right now, and he's retrograde until technically the first. It depends on where you are geographically because it's the end of the 31st. So some people might be saying December 31st. Some people might be saying January 1st. They're both right. So retrograde right now. Retrograde April 1st to April 25th. And so that's going to be in Aries, super fiery. So that's going to be a lot of initiation, doing, a lot of starts that are going to be like fits and starts. That's what that energy is going to be like. Then again, August 4th to August 28th, that's going to be in Leo and in Virgo. So there's a little bit of earthy energy there. And that's going to be very much about how you're expressing yourself. Like, how are you out in the world? And reassessing that. And then again on, November, I couldn't think of the month, November 25th to December 15th. And that again is going to be in Sagittarius. That's much more about style and much more about how you're experiencing the meaning of life and the philosophy of how you want to live it. And so great. Fire is action. Fire is the heart, right? So there's going to be, even though Mercury is thinking, it's going to be a lot of feeling. So there's a beautiful mechanism. Mercury is providing you a gift. He's providing you the mechanism next year to align your heart and your mind. And so you have, if you count right now, you have 4 opportunities to do that. We usually bash poor Mercury, right? Bash Mercury, retrograde, technology and conversation and travel and stuff. Yes, he's annoying as but he does give you gifts, and he is the messenger of the stars. So he's usually the first one that's giving you the energy of like, hey guys, this is what's coming. Because the top of 2025 is massively fiery. It just is. We've got some planets moving into Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's a fire sign. It's the start. So there's going to be great opportunity with a new start, but it's going to feel fiery, right? We want to get our fire suit on. So we get to put our fire suit on through Mercury in 2024. Yay. Yay, hooray. We also get to put our fire suit on because we do have these really edgy planets. We've got Pluto super, super edgy, Neptune super, super edgy, Saturn super, super edgy. Why do you care about that? Pluto is making you see every single thing that you don't want to see in your life ever. That's just Pluto's job. And Pluto's making you see it and from the past to the future, from the past to the future. It's happened throughout 2023. It's going to go through all of 2024. But what is Pluto's goal? Self-love, limitless love, unconditional love. It's like loving yourself wholly, loving others wholly. I mean, it is basically the Holy Grail, but it's a lot. Guess what? You now know that. So that's going to be helpful for you to know that, right? And so knowing when things are happening is really interesting, right? It's really great. Your mind can calm down with that. But then knowing how to use them and how they're going to affect you is really, really, really critical. So I will be able to tell you things that give you like I just did with Mercury retrograde and give you the reason why, right? I didn't really go through the other planets. We don't have a ton of time. I just wanted to give you glimmer. Mercury's super, super personal because when you know that things are coming up, you can then prepare for them. So, for example, I don't know what's going to happen in July and August of 2024, but there is the potential for us to get really shocking news in both of those months. We have free will. I'm hoping that it gets tamped down more, but when I predicted COVID and the insurrection and the insane weather events of 2022 and the banking crisis of 2023, all those times I was saying that same thing too. So we'll see. The middle of the year could be like, that's really interesting, right? So yes, we're here saying, okay, I just got some information about next year. What is the energy throughout the year? Like what is the big deal? Why am I doing these things and preparing these things? And why am I going to make an announcement about something I've never offered before during this conversation? Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because 2024 is going to make you feel like you're hollowed out. And I got to tell you, after the last few years, seriously, like for real, I don't like having to sit here and deliver these messages, but it's true. It's literally the truth. So I'm always going to tell you the truth. It's going to be a battle to stay in the core. So what does that mean? Being moderate, being like the space in between, being able to be the voice of reason, being able to find balance, being able to establish yourself and be unwavering, being able to find stability, being able to look and have things be stable and have them be reliable. That is going to be not impossible, but it's going to be really, really difficult. So, as many things as I can create to help you fill at the core, I am going to do that because it's not just going to be for you personally, it's going to be out there in the world too. But this conversation today is all personal. So, I want to just talk about the ways that you can, set up touch points and go deeply into your goals and look at your energies and establish routines and get tangible tips throughout the year. I'm going to talk about that towards the end of this because I do have a really good announcement. But the planets that are at the beginning and the end of their signs, Neptune is what makes you go think you're crazy. Neptune is the guy that says what's true and what's false. And so Neptune has been doing this for a while. It's been a handful of well, Neptune does it all the time, but it's been really amped. He's been really amped up for the last few years. He's going to be supercharged, amped up this year. And when I say this year, sorry, I'm already in 2024. So and we can say now, right? So here we are, right? And you're like, because it's so hard to figure what's real and what's false, right? So he's going to be super, super edgy on that. Talked about Pluto bringing every single thing up that you're not comfortable with, and that's everybody in the world. So even if you're managing and maneuvering, right, you want to be in a leadership position to be able to positively affect people around you so that your life around you can be reasonable and stable, right? So this is why I've been talking about leadership. I talk about leadership a lot. It depends on what I'm emphasizing, right? But how you're leading your life is something you've heard me say before if you've been following me for a while. And it means, like, how do you choose to get up in the morning? How do you choose to enter your day? What do you choose to feed? And what do you choose to starve? This is that. Jupiter is always going to be edgy because Jupiter will go through a sign in 1 year. So Jupiter is going to be, he's still in Taurus right now. So he's affecting the earth. He makes everything bigger. His finances bigger ranges, weather event bigger ranges, and they're more earthy, volcanic things like that. But he also affects you personally, right? So he can make things really wonderful for you. Taurus is also about money. Taurus is about being able to be comfortable, to be able to have like those creature comforts met, to be able to have ease, to be able to have support. So he's super supportive for that. And through May, it's actually May 25th. Then he goes into Gemini, mind. So with Neptune, what's false and real, with Pluto going, hey, I'm going to bring everything up uncomfortable. And then there's Jupe halfway through the year going, oh, hello, crazy mind. Let's make you, okay, could make you more brilliant, could make you more visible, could make you shine more in the spotlight, could make you more genius, could make you more successful, or could make you more distracted and scattered and really running amok. So, um, Saturn is going to be close. Saturn is close right now, and so Saturn's going to be close. And Saturn dances closely every 3 years. So it just so happens that's about commitment and choice. So if you think of like the priorities you had to stir in 2020, they're coming up again in 2024. So it's not going to be at the same level. It's don't even think about that year from like what happened from a pandemic perspective. I'm not talking about that at all. But what I'm talking about is you learned some things in 2020 that are really interesting, that are really super helpful. But life, did you forget them? Saturn's going to remind you next year. Saturn's going to say, you know what? You had your priorities. Where are we on that? And let's reestablish them. So that's really interesting. So this is great. So the mind, we have assessed it, we have calmed it, and we've created certainty around it. Now let's go into your heart. Now let's go into like opening you up to your potential. Let's go into like fueling. Let's go into like allowing. I mentioned the range of possibilities that are available for you right now. Let's go into these. Let's go into the fact that in this solstice, it's about potential, possibility, wonder, opportunity, opening, expansion, growth, right? Like it's not real yet because it's potential. It's not real yet, but it has to start somewhere, right? So we can start with our mind. We can start with like we're going to set an intention in just a minute, right? But I want to stir you up a little bit more. I want to talk about the fact that we're at the apex of potential, which means we're at the height of it. So let's kind of feel into that. Let's like look at me. I just leaned in. I'm like super close to the screen, right? So I leaned in and I'm super excited right now because I can feel it. Can you feel it? Can you feel the possibility that is available to you today? Because what you want to manifest is magical. And we want to add more magic to that. And there's alchemy in the year. And there's that pocket that I showed you on that graph. So we want to make sure that we can walk through that. So let's go ahead. Let's take a hot minute. I want you to put your hands on your heart. I just gave your mind some information. You can let it swirl around. You can let your mind, I'm only opening your mind because I want your mind to be calm and certain because once it hears something, it can start to accept it. So I did all that, did all that. And then I gave it more candy talking about like going in and really leaning in and allowing the heart to get involved. It's interesting. It's like a little bit like a spaghetti Western, right? It's a little bit like I've got this over here. We got the American West, and then we've got this, like really, different way of being able to go and make things more cost effective and make things, happen more reasonably and be able to gift it to more people. The mind. Okay, I thought it was like this, and I thought I was going to set intention and just kind of put a pin in it. No, we're going to give you more resources. We're going to give you more opening and more expansion. So put your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath in. No one can see you right now, so just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. I want you to be able to sense your soul. So whether that's with the rhythm of your heartbeat, whether that's with your breath going in and out, whether that's you just intending it, however you tap into the silent part of yourself. Let's go down the chakras. Let's go down the crown chakra and the third eye and the throat and the heart and the solar plexus and the sacral and the root down into the earth star. Let's stir the earth. Let's stir the earth. She's here for you right now. She loves you up, right? She supports you every day. She gives you the life-giving oxygen. She lets the sun shine on her so that you have that life force. Let's give great gratitude to the earth. And then let's take a minute and ponder what's going on for you right now. But let's think about the things that are working. Let's think about those things that are supporting you. Let's think about the things that you can be appreciative of, right? The mind sometimes tends to look at what's missing, but let's look at what's here. Let's look at the fact that you've said yes to yourself. Let's think about the people that love you. Let's think about how smart you are. Let's feel what a good person you are. Let's go into how much love you have for you, for your people, for your life. Let's really breathe in what you bring into the world and what a gift you are. Let's look at the simple magnificence that you create just by breathing, just by being alive. Let's go in and really think about some time that you've adored. It could have been a memory with a person. It could be like looking at a sunset. It could be one of those beautiful days. It could be something you've just done or done in the past that you're really proud of. Let's open you up to that. And let's let your heart open to that. Let's drink yourself in. You are wonderful, pure and simple. I can see it. Let's let you feel it. And now let's set a wish. What do you wish for 2024? What do you wish? You wish for some ease? That's my intention for next year, ease. Maybe it's support. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's love. Maybe it's success. Maybe it's money, joy, pleasure. Maybe it's certain things. Maybe it's a new car. Maybe it's a bigger bank account. Maybe it's a new roof. Anything. It's beautiful. Maybe it's a beautiful piece of jewelry. Maybe it's a gorgeous crystal. Maybe you have a list of things. There's no limit. You are limitless, as is the universe. This can be limitless. Now I want you to open up your heart. If I just open up my hands out wide, but if you want to go ahead and put your hands on your heart, or if they're still there, let's open up your heart. Let's add fuel to this. Like, what would it feel like to have that ease or that support or that joy or that money? Let's open up and let's feel it, taste it, see it in your mind's eye. Let's amp up the energy in this pocket of energy with the way that the moon and the sun and the earth are sitting. and all of the planets, let's ask the stars for their power to power up your wish and let it be set out into the world to ignite. Let's make it real. Let's imagine it's already here. How would that feel? Let your energy have an imprint of that. Breathe it in. Let's pull it up from the earth and have it go through your body. Let's pull it down from the heavens and have it go through your auric layers and your chakra system. Let's let you wrap your energetic self and your physical self into this possibility, into this wish, into this desire, into this intention. They're already here. Let's think about. Let's think about the planets. Let's think about the fact that we just cleared our mind and we just created certainty. Let's feel our hearts and our bodies. And let's get a little bit more zhuzhy, right? Like let's open our eyes. I'm going to tell you a little story as you're coming back. Maybe you want to take a drink of water, just kind of settle yourself a little bit. This was a grounding ritual, but some of you may have been really expansively out there, no right or wrong, but I just want to make sure that you're grounded. I want to make things real. We want to be grounded. So this is a story about Oprah and Jim Carrey, and most of you probably already know this. This is not new. I want to say it was like circa like 2004, 2005. It was before one of his big movies came out, and it was before it was right around the time he made it, so he was pretty new on the scene. Maybe he had I'm kind of mixing up like where he is, and this story is before he makes it, but he's on Oprah, so obviously he's pretty famous if he's on Oprah. Sorry about that. And he is telling the story of like what he used to do. So he lived in Hollywood. He used to drive up on this big kind of summit in Hollywood, and he used to make a wish every single night. He set intention every single night. Every night. Drove up there. It's like I had no money, I had no parts, I had no nothing. And he was like, I was envisioning myself being a star. I was envisioning, and this was he had just gotten this big, like big movie that just came out. He just made like millions of dollars. I mean, guy, obviously this worked, right? But what I adore, what the key part of the story is, and I'll get this right, is he's like, yes, I went and I set the intention and I fueled it and I added my energy and I added my heart there. He's like, but then I didn't just go and like go have a sandwich. He's like, I actually did things. So this is where the will part comes in. This is where the taking action part comes in, because we can set our desires, and we should set our desires, and we should set intentions, right? It's a tool, magical tool that we have. Why wouldn't we use it? But then we can't just go have a sandwich. Like we actually need to take action. So I want to talk about like the ways that you can actually manifest in 2024, right? So you want to make these real in your life. So you're going to take action, because remember, when I talk about my methodology, it's the knowing, it's the liking, it's the trusting. So it's the mind, it's the heart, and it's the will. And so I use this methodology everywhere, right? So when I do ritual with my clients, when I do things in workshops, when I do things out here, I get so much feedback about like, I just filled 14 spots in my high-end program when I couldn't fill them at all. You did a ritual with me, I filled them the next day. Amazing. I just did this micro manifesting approach because that's something I do with clients. And I have an extra $20,000 sitting in my bank account in the business. And I've never had that. And that feels so good. So I said this before, I use this methodology in every single thing. I was doing it mostly in program, whether they were workshops and 6-month program and, a year program, but I am doing these when I go out and do lives. And this is the first time I'm doing them equally. Normally what I'll do is I'll look at the energies and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to work more in the mind. I'm going to do less on the heart, but we'll do some things on the will. No, I'm doing all three equally, because why? Because we have to pack it of power for potential. This is soul destiny stuff, right? So here's the thing. You want to be able to make things real in your life. So the formula to manifest to make things real is based on your full potential. It's not based on your mind games or your heart twist or your control chaos. I gave you affirmations for that. I gave you calm and then created certainty. So, hopefully we've opened up your heart and we've opened up your mind because I'm going to announce right now, I'm going to announce, and I know your mind's going, oh, she's going to pitch. Oh, I'm done. Oh, I'm going to do ritual after this, a huge activation. So you might want to stay tuned. But we're going to drop the link in. And this is the first time ever I am doing a 2.5 hour workshop. And I am created a 2024 forecast toolkit. And I've never done this before. Why am I doing this? Because you're going to feel hollowed out. You are going to feel like it's so incredibly edgy that you're not going to know what to do. So I want to give you so much more than I'm giving you in something like this, right? But I wanted to do this too because it was a solstice and we had that pocket of energy. So I wanted to do both. So how do you take action? Well, you can literally create even more certainty, and your heart is the key to attracting your soulmate clients, and you can learn the ways to become more visible and make more money. Like this is true. Like this 2024 forecast toolkit has you in mind, and it has the energies of 2024 in mind. Because here's the thing, we did just create certainty. I just gave you two pieces of information, or three or four or five, I don't even know, a bunch that you're like, okay, I can kind of maneuver. I got some glimmers with Mercury retrogrades. Those are great opportunities now. I'm going to rethink that. I've got some edginess. We've got some timing in the summer. Like I've got some navigation going on. I've got some great information. And yes, you do. But what I always say is knowing about what's going to happen is one thing, living it is another. And we've experienced that in the next, last few years, right? And 2024 is going to require extra support. It just is because you have huge opportunity with 2024. Now, I had said this back in 2019. And all the people that listened to me in 2019, like literally were singing to the rafters about praises for me, probably for 6 months through 2020, because they were like, oh, holy crap. I actually listened to you. I'm so glad I did. And I did have some regret. People come to me and like, I should have listened to you. Why didn't I listen to you? You told us that it was going to be so much easier to do something this year than it would be in 2020. I'm like, yes, I know. 2024 to 2025 isn't that big of a range. 2019 was here, 2020 was like woo, or if you want to think about it the other way, right? This is like this. So 2024 is going to be a year that you can get situated. You can get, like, I like to call them like your poles in place, your pillars, your like foundation set to be able to traject you in a way that you wouldn't be able to do if you didn't take advantage of like all the tools. Because I'll be honest with you, this tool set is a business tool you need, but you don't have. I know you don't have it. I'm the only one who does it. So people, stars, strategy, success, to be able to do the oracle, giving your mind the information and know what's going to happen, to be able to do the healing because I'm a healer, to be able to do the strategy. It's just the way it is. So what do I have? I have this handy dandy, sexy AG page guide, baby. And so what people do is they literally get it laminated and I see it all marked up by the end of the year, right? This year's for 2024 is deeper, it's more practical, and it really sets things up in a way that you can have as a reference guide for the whole year. It goes through every single big star event with Pluto, talks about Mars, it talks about Jupiter, Saturn. I mentioned some of those today. It talks about your energy, it talks about what your signature is, it talks about how you use free will, it talks about the Mercury retrogrades and what to do there, it talks about the other planetary retrogrades and how to use those. It gives you the sun and how to use the sun all year long. It gives you tools. It gives you the moon and how to use the moon. I mean, it's unbelievable. But not just that. It's a 2.5 hour workshop, and I adore, like, in my high end programs. We're coming to one end of one phase and we're entering another phase right now. And I talk to everybody one-on-one at the end of a program because I want to make sure that they're set. And what do they want to do going forward further and how's that going to work? And so I had a quote on Monday that is one of my favorite quotes. And what the woman said, she's like, getting Kim for hours at a time for less than $1,000 a month. She's like, that's a no-brainer. All day long, I will do that. And this is so much less than that. That's not even crazy. This is so much less than that. So the other thing you're going to get with this tool set is you're going to get ways to clear the blocks for your success. You're going to get your energetic money imprint. You're going to become much more. You're going to get tangible tools about being able to become more visible. So it's like there's collaborative tips in there, and then there's visibility tips in there because it's the combination of the two for next year. And why am I saying this right now? It's the apex of the season of potential. I really want you to know what the potential is and how it's available to you. And I'm doing first time ever. I'm giving gifts for people who are live. I've never done that before. This is not going to be in the replay or not going to be available later because guess what? You came live and you deserve prizes. I'm sorry. So there is a $50 coupon, which I will admit that is going to be available for people if they watch the replay. But you're not going to be able to apply the price of this tool set, which with the $50 coupon is $147. That's like almost no money, right? This takes 100 hours to write. So it's very like a lot of Kim's time, right? There's a lot of Kim in that. And then you give me for 2.5 hours. So which is amazing. But you can apply the price, that $147, if you do a program with me in 2024. I'm going to give you that off. So it's basically free. So amazing, right? Never done that before. Never done just a live only before. So you can get it here. You can get it now. We've dropped the link in. You're going to want to copy the link. Go ahead and just click buy now. And you're going to want to secure your spot because I like rewarding you for saying yes to yourself. And you'll note there's been some things I had a huge offer through the Equinox, stopped at the Equinox. Had another huge offer through Black Friday, stopped at Black Friday. There are some people that are getting some program for like ridiculously low prices. So they're setting themselves up for 2024 because why? You want to set the intention, you want to fuel it up, and then you don't want to go have a sandwich. You want to actually take action for it because it really matters. And then this is Cuckoo Town Crazy. I get swept up in this kind of thing. So I was writing the notes for the team just so that we knew where we were. And I'm going to give this bonus, which I was trying to decide if I wanted to do it, but I'm a big yes, only for those of you live, only for the first 10 people who sign up. I am actually going to do a bonus magic hour. And you get me. There's only going to be 10 of you in the room. You get me for an hour. That's worth way more. Is the woman said, I don't want to say her name because I didn't ask permission. Said, oh, and like, oh my God, for less than $1,000, that's a no-brainer. Free. Because you've said yes to yourself on the apex of potential when you're setting the intention, and you're not just doing that and then going and have a sandwich, right? So I'm going to go ahead. We've got 2 or 3 more minutes. I am actually going to do a channeled activation for you right now because I want you to be able to take advantage of every single drop of this energy. So I hope you say yes to yourself. Hope to see you inside. If not, then we've done a beautiful gathering together, and I just hope that 2024 goes as well as you hope it's going to go, right? So hope isn't a strategy though. So let's go in. Let's go in right now. I'll end on a better note than that, because I am feeling some energetic edginess right now. Again, it's 2024. So let's go ahead and fill you at the core. I'm actually going to call in Herkimer Diamond. I don't know if anybody's used Herkimer Diamond, but I'm feeling I want to do grounding. Again, it's that edgy energy of 2024. Herkimer Diamond's beautiful because you can imprint energy into this and then it can hold it for you. So that's beautiful. I mean, I have it right in front of me. I've been using it for probably 2 months now, getting ready for 2024. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and infuse that. What I want to picture is if you want to have the more forward energy be more that knowing, or if you want it to be more that connecting through the heart, or if you want it to be more that trusting through that prosperity, right? So be able to create a foundation for more prosperity for you. No right or wrong answer. You can do all three. So go ahead and just feel where your energy is. Does your energy want more, energetic imprint in your knowing, your mind? Does it want it more in your heart space, or does it want it more in that sacral area for that trust? I'm going to go ahead and do all three. but this is just for the Herkimer diamond energy, just for that energy, just to see where that wants to come in for you. So I want you to breathe in. I want you to breathe in. Obviously, you're going to breathe in through your mouth. You're going to breathe into your chest. But I really want you to open up your heart. I want you to open up your solar plexus. I want you to open up your sacral and really allow that energy just to kind of sweep and swoop down. It's almost like an energetic wash, just going down your hips and just down over your legs and like just getting washed away into through the earth. Any of those heart twists, any of those mind games, we're just going to let it fluff right off of you. This is another layer of clearing. I already did one, but we're doing one other layer here. I want you to sparkle like a diamond. So I want you to envision yourself like your body is like a diamond. It's like a diamond. It's literally, you can see that iridescent light kind of shining on the inclusions in a diamond, which are so beautiful. And you can have that prism shape. You can be any form of diamond that you like, that Herkimer that we just saw, or if you like a certain cut of diamond, but you shine. You shine beautifully. And I would love for you to then think of your desire or your wish or your intention. And I would love for you to be able to shine that in the world. Allow it to kind of echo out. Allow it to reach beyond that physical layer into the etheric, into the emotional, mental, spiritual, and allow it to expand. I'm going to throw my arms back and my head wide open because I am going to be opening up this potential with you for the people around you to be able to see, for you to be able to see as you reflect in your reflection in the mirror, for the people that you want to touch, with your gifts, where you want to, or your ideas, or your thoughts and your intentions, with your actions, audience you want to build, followers you want to lead, people that you want to work with. And we're allowing that beautiful, gorgeous, desirous state to come out. And that Herkimer diamond is then going to capture, just picture it floating around, or maybe it's in your hand. And all of a sudden it's like, whoop, I just captured that for you. I'm going to hold it with you. I'm going to allow it to be rooted and anchored in the super edgy year. And I'm going to let you open to yourself on this apex of potential, on this beautiful solstice, and this power-packed energy. The stars are conspiring to bring you success. And when you know how to use them strategically, you can walk right into your pathway. And I adore doing this work. I am so lucky. And thank you so much for being here. I'm not going to close out the energy. I'm going to let this be open. If you have a meeting or you need to go, pick up or do things that you want to just kind of like nestle yourself in energetically, just give yourself a hug. Just kind of like roll your shoulders and your hips, rub your feet on the floor, rub your hands together, because we do want this energy to continue to build, because yes to the yes to the yes to the yes. So thank you so much. It's been my honor and my thrill to be here with you today, and happy solstice. I do hope to see you inside the forecast tool set because it is going to set you up for 2024. Thank you so much.